Welcome to solverfy.
Okay, now suppose that we are a monopolistic competitor firm and that we've had a very successful advertising campaign. Okay, so this successful campaign increases our demand curve, and we want to know how this affects prices and quantity supplied. So here in this graph, we have here in the black lines are going to be our original demand curve, marginal cost curve, and marginal revenue. This point here is where we produced before the success of the campaign. And again, as a monopolist does, we charged at this point up here. Now the demand is going to increase because we had a very successful campaign, and that's this red line, D2, which would say, again, that you would produce with MR equals MC, but charge a much higher price. Well, there's one thing that is missing, and that's this shift of the marginal revenue curve. You have to be very aware that if the demand increases, so does marginal revenue, okay? Because marginal revenue is calculated from our perceived demand curve. We take our demand curve, we say, well, if this is the demand curve for this price, we would have this total revenue. For this other price, we would have this other total revenue, and then we will calculate the marginal revenue. So this black line gives you the marginal revenue considering the prices that came from this demand curve. So by changing this demand curve, this original marginal revenue curve is no longer accurate. Okay, so we have to consider the second marginal revenue curve. So our quantity will now be produced here, right? So we would have an increase from Q1 to Q2. So you would increase quantity, and our equilibrium price would go from here, which was P1, to this is what we're producing, this is what we're charging. So to P2, right? And that's what would happen to price and quantity if we had a really successful campaign.